That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Strider Hero U is back. Thanks to Double Helix and Capcom, they have rebooted the series with the simply titled Strider. But is this reboot of nostalgia worth your $15 download? Find out in our review of Strider. The simply titled Strider is a Metroidvania type of game, meaning that you'll be avoiding traps, going through room to room searching for power-ups, upgrades, and new weapons to defeat the bosses and progress throughout the story. Now, of course, the story is not the greatest thing ever told. It is a retelling of the original Strider game for the arcade, but now with questionable voice acting.
Strong. Too strong for you?
Not at all, but he has already defeated the North Wind.
The Grandmaster is resurrecting all of the winds. They will succeed.
They are not enough.
Like I said, questionable voice acting, but it is enough to give the player invested into completing the game. Thankfully, the gameplay and the overall presentation pick up the slack of the story mode. At first glance, Strider may seem a bit simplistic with only two attack options, the Rapid Slash and the Launcher. But as you progress throughout more levels, you'll find power-ups including the Slide and the Double Jump, which will allow you to traverse throughout the levels, taking out the waves of enemies that spawn before you. Speaking of the power-ups, they actually come at a pretty good pacing and are required for you to go through some of the more hidden secrets throughout the game. This is a very nice touch, allowing you to explore throughout the semi-open world that the game has to offer. It's broken down into zones into which you can go at any time, but certain places are unlocked until you've either beaten the boss or you've unlocked a certain power-up or item. And now to the bosses. While being also cool to look at, they're also fun to fight, requiring you to use the skills that you've learned up to that point in order to defeat them. They're not too frustratingly hard, they are the right amount of challenge for certain players. They just require you to have a good bit of timing and to know your moves properly and when to implement them. If you haven't been able to tell from the gameplay clips I've shown right now, Strider is a very impressive looking game, especially for an arcade title. Everything from the particle effects of cutting down enemies with Strider's plasma sword to the snow falling down on the city, Strider is a visually impressive arcade title and is definitely not afraid to show off its looks. Not only is Strider visually impressive, but the official soundtrack for the game is also very well done. A lot of it is remixed themes from the original game, with a few original tracks mixed in. Here's a small sample of one of the boss themes in the game. Combining the visuals and the audio with the gameplay of Strider comes with a nice overall presentation. The only real complaint that I have is that there is a bit of backtracking because you have to go and pick up new weapons and items in order to progress throughout the story. While it can be bothersome, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. So after it's all said and done, is Strider worth the $15 digital downloading price only? I'll have to say yes it is, with the inclusion of a survival mode, higher difficulty levels where you can access new costumes and new survival maps, leaderboards. There's a lot this game has to offer for its $15 price, so I advise you to do check it out. Even if you're a new school gamer or old school gamer, there's something in here for you. Be sure to check out putthatback.org for more game related news and reviews. Catch you guys next time.